Have you ever felt like the universe was whispering directly to you through numbers, coincidences, or perfect timing? Those moments that seem too aligned to be random often carry a hidden message, a key to a deeper reality. What if I told you that synchronicities are not accidents, but doorways into transformation, clues designed to shift your perception instantly? Imagine unlocking a new level of awareness where life flows with meaning, where every encounter and event feels divinely orchestrated. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful synchronicity signs that, once recognized, can completely change how you see and experience your reality. If you've ever wondered whether the universe is trying to guide you, stay with me, because these signs might just prove that everything in your life is happening for a reason. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when the veil between ordinary and extraordinary becomes thin, when the everyday suddenly glows with hidden meaning. This is where synchronicity lives. It's that mysterious experience when the inner world of your thoughts, desires, and emotions spills into the outer world of events in ways that defy pure chance. For some, it feels like divine timing. For others, it feels like the universe tapping them on the shoulder, saying, "Pay attention, this matters." Carl Jung, the great psychologist who coined the term, once said that synchronicity is an acausal connecting principle. In other words, it's not about cause and effect, it's about significance. Two events might not be logically related, but they connect through meaning. Imagine thinking of an old friend, and suddenly they call you after years of silence. The cause doesn't matter. What matters is that the event aligns with your inner state in such a precise way that it feels almost magical. That is synchronicity, the invisible thread weaving your life together. But why does it matter? Because synchronicity is not random, it is a mirror. It reflects the alignment between you and the greater field of consciousness that we are all part of. When synchronicities appear, they are not just coincidences. They are confirmations. They are signs that your thoughts, energy, and path are resonating with something larger. They show you that you are not walking alone, that reality is not a cold and indifferent mechanism, but a living, breathing mystery that responds to you. Think about how you feel when one of these moments happens. There's a spark of wonder, a sense that time itself has paused, like the universe is speaking directly to you. In those moments, your awareness shifts. Suddenly, the world is no longer mundane. It becomes enchanted, infused with hidden meaning. And that shift is powerful, because when you begin to see synchronicity, you stop living as though life is against you. Instead, you begin to see that life is guiding you, nudging you, supporting you. That shift alone can transform your reality. Also important to recognize that synchronicity is deeply personal. What appears to you as a profound sign might be invisible to someone else. This is because synchronicity speaks the language of your soul. It aligns with your inner dialogue, your hidden questions, your private longings. When you see the same symbol appear again and again, or when the right opportunity arrives in a way that feels almost scripted, it's because reality is responding uniquely to you. This is why synchronicity feels intimate. It feels like the universe knows you, because in truth, it does. Some people dismiss these experiences as coincidence. But think about this. How many coincidences does it take before it becomes unreasonable to call them random? When events line up again and again in ways that defy statistics, when messages arrive at the exact moment you need them, when opportunities unfold with perfect timing eventually, you realize that the pattern itself is the message. The universe is intelligent, alive, and always communicating. The question is not whether synchronicities exist. The question is whether we are awake enough to notice them. And here lies the deeper truth. Synchronicity thrives where awareness grows. The more present and mindful you become, the more you begin to see the web of connections linking everything around you. You notice the song playing in the cafe that echoes your current struggle. You notice the stranger's words that answer the question you are silently holding. You notice how your inner world magnetizes experiences that mirror it back to you. This is not an illusion. It is alignment. It is the unveiling of a reality that was always there, waiting for your awareness to catch up. This is why synchronicity has the power to transform your reality instantly. Because once you realize that nothing is random, that everything has meaning, you begin to walk through life differently. You no longer feel lost in chaos. You begin to see that every challenge carries a hidden message. Every encounter carries a hidden blessing, and every step is part of a larger design. Life stops being something that just happens to you. It becomes a dialogue, a dance, a co-creation between you and the infinite intelligence that breathes through all things. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore the most common and powerful synchronicity signs, the signals that so many people experience but don't always know how to interpret. These signs are the universe's way of speaking clearly, of showing you that you are on the right path, and of calling you to trust the unseen. But before we get there, let this truth anchor into your heart. Nothing in your life is random. Every coincidence is a clue. Every alignment is an invitation. And when you learn to see synchronicity for what it truly is, you will never look at reality the same way again. There is something almost hypnotic about looking at the clock and seeing 11:11, or opening a receipt and noticing the total is $22.22, or finding yourself surrounded by the same sequence of digits wherever you go. At first, it feels like a curious coincidence, but the more it happens, the more you begin to sense that it cannot be random. Repeating numbers, often called angel numbers, are one of the most common and powerful forms of synchronicity. The universe's way of speaking to you in the language of numbers. Numbers have always carried meaning. Ancient civilizations understood them not merely as quantities, but as symbols, vibrations, and frequencies. In sacred texts, numbers appear as codes of creation, holding hidden wisdom about balance, harmony, and cosmic order. So, when numbers begin repeating in your life, it is not a meaningless trick of chance. It is a deliberate message, a subtle signal from the greater intelligence that orchestrates reality, trying to catch your attention in the simplest yet most profound way. Take, for example, the number 111. This sequence often appears when you are in alignment with a new beginning, a fresh chapter, or an awakening of awareness. It's as if the universe is saying, pay attention to your thoughts. They are manifesting quickly. Then there is 222, a reminder of balance, trust, and partnerships, urging you to stay patient as things fall into place. Seeing 333 often symbolizes divine guidance, that your spirit team or higher self is surrounding you with encouragement. 444 is the number of stability, grounding, and protection. 555 signals change, sometimes uncomfortable, but always transformative. And of course, 777 and 888 carry vibrations of spiritual alignment and abundance, while 999 whispers of completion, closure, and preparing for the new. But what matters most is not the universal definitions. It's what the number means to you. The reason repeating numbers feels so uncanny is because they arrive at moments when you need reassurance, when your inner dialogue is calling for clarity. Imagine doubting your next step and then looking up to see 1111 glowing back at you. It's not the number itself that matters. It's the perfect timing, the alignment of your inner state with an outer confirmation. That is synchronicity in its purest form. Repeating numbers are also powerful because they are so hard to ignore. You might miss a subtle symbol in your environment, but when numbers chase you, they demand your attention. You keep seeing them. On license plates, on receipts, on phone numbers, on digital clocks. It's as though reality itself is arranging its details to send you a message in a code you cannot deny. And the more you notice them, the more you begin to realize that life is not chaotic at all. It is intelligent, structured, and responsive. Now, here is the transformative part. When you start recognizing these numbers, you shift from passively experiencing life to actively participating in a dialogue with the universe. You no longer brush off the signs, you respond to them. You pause, reflect, and ask, what is this trying to tell me? That very act of paying attention deepens your awareness. You start aligning your thoughts with intention. You start trusting your intuition more. You start living with the quiet confidence that you are being guided, step by step, toward your highest path. There is also a psychological element worth noting. The human brain is wired to find patterns, and skeptics might argue that repeating numbers are nothing more than selective attention. You notice them because you are looking for them. But here's the key difference. Even if your awareness plays a role, why does it awaken at the exact right time? Why does the number appear at the precise moment when you're questioning, doubting, or needing confirmation? That timing itself is the synchronicity. It is not about numbers floating in the world. It is about their appearance aligning perfectly with your inner state. That is something chance cannot explain away. Some people even develop personal relationships with numbers. For example, someone might always see 333 when they are about to receive good news. Another might see 555 whenever a major shift is coming. Over time, the numbers become a personal lexicon, a private dialogue between you and the universe. And the more you trust this dialogue, the clearer the messages become. You no longer feel lost because the signs are always guiding you, even when logic cannot. The real gift of repeating numbers is that they remind you of something essential. You are not separate from the universe. You are not wandering blindly through a meaningless world. You are a co-creator, and the same intelligence that spins galaxies into being also arranges the small details of your daily life to send you reassurance, direction, and love. Numbers are simply one of the easiest ways for that intelligence to reach you. So, the next time you see repeating numbers, don't dismiss them. Pause, breathe, feel the significance of that moment. Ask yourself, what was I just thinking about? What decision am I facing? What truth is being whispered to me? You may be surprised by the clarity that follows. And once you begin to listen deeply, these numbers no longer feel random. They feel sacred. They feel like proof that reality is alive, aware, and intimately connected to you. Repeating numbers are not just signs, they are invitations. They are reminders that the universe is always communicating, always guiding, always aligning you with your highest path. When you learn to recognize and trust this language, you transform not only how you see numbers, but how you see reality itself. There are moments in life when events line up so perfectly that you cannot help but pause and ask yourself, what are the chances? You think of someone you haven't spoken to in years, and suddenly they appear in front of you at the grocery store. You're struggling with a question that keeps you awake at night, and the very next morning you stumble upon a book or even a single sentence that delivers the exact answer you needed. These are not accidents. They are meaningful coincidences. Another powerful form of synchronicity that transforms the way we see reality. Carl Jung, who first explored synchronicity, was fascinated by these precise alignments. He once described an experience with a patient who was recounting a dream about a golden scarab. As she spoke, a beetle, a scarab-like insect rarely seen in that region, began tapping on the window. To Jung, this was no ordinary coincidence. It was the psyche and the external world aligning in a way that broke through her rigid skepticism and opened the door to healing. That is the essence of meaningful coincidences. They disrupt ordinary logic and reveal that something deeper is. At work, think about how you feel when these events happen. It's more than surprise, it's recognition. A sense that the timing is too precise, too poetic, to be random. That feeling is your intuition responding to the deeper order behind the moment. Because the truth is this, the same intelligence that orchestrates stars and galaxies also arranges the details of your life with elegance and precision. Meaningful coincidences are glimpses into that greater pattern. Let's explore an example. Imagine you're facing a major decision, perhaps whether to leave a job that no longer fulfills you. You feel uncertain, torn between security and growth. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, you overhear a stranger say something that resonates with your inner conflict. Sometimes you have to let go of the safe choice to find the life that's waiting for you. It feels like the universe just answered the question you were afraid to ask. This is the beauty of synchronicity. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to your soul. Through the theater of everyday life, another common experience is meeting the right person at the exact right time. Maybe you're longing for guidance on a creative project, and you cross paths with someone who happens to have the expertise you need. Or perhaps you're craving deeper connection, and you, randomly, meet someone who becomes a lifelong friend or even a soulmate. These encounters feel fated because, on some level, they are. They are orchestrations of energy, the external world responding to your internal readiness. What makes meaningful coincidences transformative is not just the event itself, but your recognition of it. The moment you acknowledge that there is meaning in the coincidence, your perspective shifts. Suddenly, life feels more like a dialogue and less like a struggle. Instead of seeing yourself as isolated and unsupported, you begin to sense that you are woven into a larger design. This awareness brings comfort, clarity, and trust. It reminds you that you are not drifting aimlessly, you are being guided. Skeptics will argue that coincidences happen simply because of probability. In a world of billions of people and endless possibilities, strange alignments are bound to occur. But synchronicity is not about statistical rarity, it's about significance. The coincidence becomes meaningful because it arrives precisely when it matters most to you, delivering insight or reassurance that no random calculation can explain. Its timing, relevance, and emotional impact transform it from mere chance into a message. The more you open yourself to noticing these alignments, the more they appear. It's not that the universe suddenly starts sending them. It's that your awareness tunes in. You begin to see the invisible threads connecting everything. You begin to trust the flow of life instead of resisting it. And the more you trust, the more life responds, weaving coincidences into your journey like breadcrumbs leading you home. Here's the most profound part. Meaningful coincidences don't just confirm your path, they often redirect it. They appear as catalysts, nudging you toward choices you might otherwise ignore. That book falling off the shelf, that chance encounter, that overheard phrase, they can change the course of your life if you allow yourself to follow their guidance. In this way, synchronicity is not passive, it is participatory. It asks you to respond, to engage with the signs, to step into alignment with the flow they reveal. When you embrace meaningful coincidences as more than chance, you begin to live with a sense of wonder. Life feels less mechanical and more magical. You see patterns where before you saw randomness. You feel supported where before you felt alone. And in that shift, your reality transforms because your perception transforms. Suddenly, every day holds the potential for mystery. Every encounter carries hidden significance, and every step is infused with possibility. So, the next time life presents you with one of these perfect alignments, don't dismiss it. Pause. Reflect. Ask yourself, what is this moment showing me? Why now? What deeper truth is being mirrored here? You may find that the coincidence is not just a curiosity, it is a doorway. a doorway into greater awareness, deeper trust, and a reality that feels infinitely more alive. Not all synchronicities appear in the physical world of chance encounters and repeating numbers. Some of the most profound signs come in the quiet hours of sleep, in symbols that follow you through your days, or in messages that arrive in ways too mysterious to ignore. These are the synchronicities that bypass logic entirely, flowing directly from the subconscious and the unseen. They remind you that your soul is in constant dialogue with the universe, whether you are awake or dreaming. Dreams are one of the most powerful vessels for synchronicity. Have you ever dreamed of something so vivid, so strangely precise, that it later unfolded in waking life? Or perhaps you dreamed of an image, a symbol, or a conversation that brought clarity to something you were struggling with. These are not just random brain activity. Dreams are windows into the deeper layers of consciousness, and often they serve as bridges between your inner world and the greater intelligence that surrounds you. When a dream aligns with external reality, it is synchronicity speaking in its most intimate language. Symbols are another way the universe communicates. You may begin to notice a specific animal, image, or phrase appearing over and over across different contexts. Perhaps a butterfly keeps crossing your path during a period of personal transformation, reminding you of rebirth. Or maybe an owl appears in art, books, and conversations, nudging you to trust your inner wisdom. These repeating symbols are not coincidences. They are the universe's way of drawing your attention to truths you are ready to embody. What makes these symbols so powerful is their ability to bypass the rational mind. A conversation with a stranger might be dismissed as random, but a dream that comes true, or a symbol that follows you relentlessly, pierces through doubt. It feels undeniable. That is because symbols are archetypal. They carry a resonance that touches something ancient within you. They are not just personal. They are universal, woven into the collective unconscious that Carl Jung so often described. When symbols surface as synchronicities, they remind you that you are connected not only to your own journey, but also to the vast tapestry of human and cosmic experience. Messages can also arrive in startling ways through songs on the radio, lines in books, or even slips of the tongue. You may be wrestling with a decision and suddenly hear a lyric that speaks directly to your dilemma. Or you might pick up a random book, open to a page, and find a sentence that answers the question you've been carrying silently within you. These moments are so precise, so timely, that they leave no doubt. Something beyond logic is arranging them. This is not superstition. It is synchronicity reminding you that reality is alive, aware, and responsive. Skeptics might say, it's just your brain finding patterns. But even if that were true, consider the timing. Why does the pattern appear when you most need it? Why does the dream echo reality so perfectly? Why does the symbol follow you exactly when you are on the verge of transformation? That timing cannot be explained away. It is not randomness, it is resonance. The universe mirrors back what you are ready to see, and it uses symbols, dreams, and messages because they bypass resistance and speak straight to your soul. The transformative power of these signs lies in how they shift your awareness. When you realize that your dreams may hold guidance, you begin to pay attention. When you notice repeating symbols, you pause and reflect on their meaning. When you encounter messages that feel directed at you, you open yourself to receiving. This act of attention changes you. It softens your skepticism, awakens your intuition, and invites you into deeper trust. You begin to see life as an ongoing conversation rather than a series of isolated events. Let's take an example. Imagine you keep seeing the image of a key in dreams, in advertisements, even in casual conversation. At first, you shrug it off, but as it continues, you realize you've been searching for direction in your life, for the key to your next chapter. The symbol is not random. It is guiding you to look inward, to recognize that the answers you seek are already within you. This realization doesn't come through logic. It comes through synchronicity, through the symbolic language of the universe, speaking directly to your heart. The more you embrace these messages, the more fluent you become in the universe's symbolic language. Dreams no longer feel like random stories. They become sacred dialogues. Symbols no longer feel like curiosities. They become guiding stars. Messages no longer feel like chance. They become proof that you are being guided at every step. And as this fluency deepens, your reality transforms. You no longer dismiss the subtle. You begin to see that the unseen is just as real, just as important as the visible. Here is the truth. Life is layered. Beneath the surface of logic and reason lies a deeper current of meaning, a river of synchronicity flowing through dreams, symbols, and messages. When you learn to recognize and trust that current, you awaken to a reality that is richer, more mysterious, and infinitely more alive. You stop needing proof because you feel the truth in your bones. The universe is always speaking. The question is whether you are listening. By now, you've seen how synchronicity reveals itself in countless ways. Through numbers that seem to follow you, coincidences that feel scripted, dreams that spill into waking life, and symbols that whisper truths beyond logic. But there is one question left, the most important of all. How do you move from noticing synchronicity to living in alignment with it? How do you allow synchronicity to transform your reality, not just in rare moments, but as a way of being? The answer is flow. Flow is what happens when you stop forcing, stop resisting, and start allowing life to guide you. It's that state where time feels different, where opportunities arise effortlessly, and where you feel carried rather than burdened. Synchronicity is not random. It is the natural language of flow. When you align with it, life becomes less about struggle and more about trust. Less about control and more about co-creation. But alignment requires a shift in perspective. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that life is linear, mechanical, and governed only by logic. We're taught that success comes from control, that outcomes come from pushing harder. And yet, synchronicity teaches the opposite. It shows you that when you relax your grip, when you listen to intuition, when you open your awareness, life begins to meet you halfway. Events line up, doors open, guidance arrives. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable. So how do you live in alignment with synchronicity? It begins with awareness. Pay attention to the signs around you, those small nudges, repeating patterns, and meaningful coincidences. Don't dismiss them as random. Instead, ask, what is life showing me? What is this moment inviting me to see? Awareness transforms ordinary events into messages. It trains your mind to recognize the hidden dialogue happening all around you. The next step is trust. Awareness without trust leads to doubt. You might notice synchronicities, but brush them aside as just coincidence. Trust is what allows you to lean into them, to believe that the universe is indeed guiding you. And here's the beautiful truth. The more you trust, the more synchronicities unfold. It's as if the universe is saying, the more you listen, the louder I'll speak. Trust turns whispers into guidance, and guidance into transformation. Third comes action. Synchronicities are not meant to be admired from a distance. They are meant to be followed. When a sign points you in a direction, take a step, even if it feels uncertain. That chance encounter, follow up on it. That repeating number, reflect on the decision you're facing. That dream, journal it and look for meaning. Synchronicities are invitations, but they only change your reality when you respond. Action completes the loop between awareness and transformation. Living in alignment also requires surrender. This doesn't mean giving up control entirely. It means loosening the need to control every detail. Synchronicity thrives in openness. When you cling too tightly to your plans, you leave no space for the universe to surprise you. But when you soften, when you allow life to weave its intelligence into your path, synchronicities flourish. Surrender is not weakness. It is cooperation with the greater flow of reality. Over time, as you cultivate awareness, trust, action, and surrender, synchronicity becomes your compass. You begin to navigate life not through fear or force, but through resonance. You make choices not because they look good on paper, but because they feel aligned. And in that alignment, doors open that you never could have pushed open through effort alone. You discover that life is not something happening to you. It is something happening with you. And this is where reality transforms when you live in flow. Synchronicity stops being occasional and starts being constant. You wake up each day knowing that guidance is everywhere. You no longer see the world as random. You see it as alive, responsive, intelligent. Every encounter, every event, every symbol becomes a thread in a larger tapestry. And you realize that you are not just a character in the story. You are also a co-author. Perhaps the most profound gift of synchronicity is connection. It reminds you that you are not separate. You are not alone. You are intimately woven into the web of life, connected to others, to the universe, and to the deeper intelligence that animates everything. This awareness dissolves loneliness, fear, and doubt. It replaces them with trust, wonder, and belonging. And in that shift, everything changes instantly. So, how do you live in alignment with synchronicity? By listening, by trusting, by responding, by surrendering, by flowing with the current instead of swimming against it. And when you do, you discover that synchronicity is not rare at all. It is constant, waiting for you to notice. It is the heartbeat of reality, guiding you home. Remember this: nothing is random. Every sign is a message. Every coincidence is a clue. Every dream, every symbol, every encounter is an invitation. The universe is always speaking. The only question is, are you willing to listen and to let it transform your reality? So the next time you see repeating numbers, encounter a perfect coincidence, or feel a dream spill into reality, remember these are not random accidents. They are signs that the universe is alive, listening, and guiding you. The truth is, synchronicity is always happening. The more you pay attention, the more you'll realize that your reality is not fixed. It's fluid, responsive, and deeply connected to who you are becoming. Life is speaking to you. The question is, will you slow down, trust the signs, and allow them to guide you into the life you are always meant to live? Because once you do, everything shifts. Your reality transforms instantly.